restoring men in history, and we wanted to do a cultural piece today that goes with Rise Women of the West. So if you haven't seen that, watch Rise Women of the West. It's funny, we just did Rise Women of the West, and then I saw this article today, so I thought we'd go over it. And it's why Gen Z is ditching the girl boss for the trad wife. Now, we just did Rise Women of the West, seek love, make babies, because of the birth rates are plummeting in the United States of America. And we need that. And it's more than just birth rates. It's creating a home of love. Imagine if you want to have an impact and make a difference as a woman, if you can give love and receive love and build a home, you have done something monumental. All right. This is why Gen Z is ditching the girl boss for the trad wife. Go back and watch Rise Women of the West. You might want to watch Rise Men of the West too. January 11th, Emma Waters. This happened to just come out, so we'll do it. So she goes on about this Hannah Nealman, a Utah-based cattle farmer, and these social Instagram trad wife, a growing category of social media influencers who reject the not-so-traditional 9-to-5 workforce in favor of, 3 cheers, homeschooling. We love homeschooling here for many reasons. Get you out of the MICs. What are the MICs? Marxist Indoctrination Centers. We don't like those much here. If you like this video, please hit the like button, hit the notification button, subscribe. We would appreciate it. Thank you. We don't want confusion. Give your boys order, not confusion, right? Department of Education, homeschool, Department of Education likes to now seem to want to confuse children on their sex and everything. So anyway, homeschooling we like, homemaking, 3 cheers. For Hannah and all the women doing this, we applaud you. She says Hannah and other trad wives will maintain their prominence going into 24. Here's a key that we want to talk about. For many women, here's in the article, back to the article, who increasingly report persistent feelings of sadness or hopelessness. Where do you think that comes from? These influencers offer an idyllic alternative to urban life. So these influences offer you, ladies, an idyllic alternative to urban life. So this is resonating, right? And natural order, human nature, can undo bad propaganda and bad indoctrination of 20 years of bad Hollywood, 50 years of bad Hollywood, that says you don't need children, you don't need a man, you don't need anything. Well, that's not really resonating with these women. Hollywood sold that, the feminists sold that, the globalists sold that, right? Globalists sold you don't have children to protect the climate, right? Anyway, and by the way, on that girl boss thing, that's in the title, girl boss. So we'll just cover that. Most girls are not going to be the boss anyway. That's what, 0.01%? You're just going to be in corporate America at a cubicle, most of you. So compare that to being at the home with loving children and a romantic husband who loves you romantically, and the love you get from that, versus a corporate boss who doesn't like you and a corporation that doesn't care about you and will fire you if you don't produce results immediately. In some corporations, some are woke and I don't know, they have weird things, but anyway. So let's go back to the piece. They are illuminating a deeper hunger among women, especially among Gen Z. Now, this is a good thing, I think. And you can say deeper hunger, or you can just say the natural order, human nature, the way God made you. However you want to say this, the way women are made is that most of women would prefer that, right? Or many, at least. Many women want to make a home, and they want an ordered home. And they want to make a nice, loving home, and many women want to be loved and loved. And what's the value of that, by the way? If you can create a magnificent home, an amazing value to society, to the home. So there's these factions that want women to give up marriage for power. You got the communists, the Marxists, the globalists, the socialists, many in the that want to do that in Hollywood, and they push this, or they want girls to try to become men, meaning and act like men, or even become men, right? They push both. That bad propaganda, bad indoctrination, but sometimes you get an experience that changes you, right? So Hollywood and corporate America and everything, they tell you you don't need a family, or you can wait till your 50s and 60s as a woman to have a family. But what do families give you? They give you love, right? They give you community. They give you belonging, right? We just talked about this, so I don't want to go into too much. But the point is, you also need what in life? And what do they leave out of all these arguments? You get love from a family, and people need to love and be loved. And without love, you are nothing. So who loves you? Not your government, not your corporate boss, not corporate America. They do not. Your man and your children love you in a different way, right? Your man loves you romantically. Your children love you in a different way. Going on back to the piece. A quick search on Google Trends shows that the term trad wife gained popularity in 2018. Did you know that? But peaked in 2020. Why do you think that is? As the pandemic accelerated women's return to the home. So you got the Marxist propagandists, Hollywood, and all these people pushing stuff. So what happened? Some of the women got to be home. So this faction wanted everything shut down, right? What they didn't anticipate was that many women would go back and not just see what the schools were doing, but would be fulfilled in the home more than they were in their cubicle, more than they were at work, more than they were in big positions, more than they work at law, more than in these professions even, right? They found out that many women enjoyed being in the home more. These women had been pushed and sold feminism and Marxism, but experience brought them out of it. They realized they were more fulfilled in the home. So what did that do? Going on back to the piece. Let's go back to the piece. Instead of being confined to religious or ultra wealthy women, the trad wife movement entered what? Mainstream discussions. And here it comes. Here's the point. It offered women the chance to reclaim the ingredients of what? Happiness. And we've talked about happiness. And what is happiness? It's not just materialism that corporate America wants you to sell. It's not climate change that globalism wants you to sell. Faith, she goes on to say, family, community, and meaningful work. And what is meaningful work? Back from the career-focused model they grew up with. Why did they grow up that? Because at the time, Hollywood was pushing it, corporate America was pushing all this feminism, girl power, be the boss, get out there, right? A family is unfulfilling. It holds you back. It makes you a slave. You don't want a family. You don't want a man. You don't need a man, right? It's been, for most, not proven true, right? I read a few articles on women in their 50s and 60s who went the career path who now regretted it. That doesn't mean everybody did it. It means they did. For a small percentage, they'll like that, right? Maybe. But I think most humans want to love and be loved, right? Most humans want love and be loved. And by the way, when people were dying at the end of the deathbed, they never regretted. I read this whole book where the girl took care of all these people that were dying. Nobody regretted missing a meeting or closing a deal. They missed time with their family, time with their wife, time with their husband. Okay? Those are just the facts that this lady wrote about this certain set of group of people she saw. It was always the same. Everybody regretted time with friends and family, not missing time from work. Okay? So you can choose to have faith in your husband or faith in the government. I don't know why anybody would have faith in the government at this point, but faith in your husband or faith in your corporate job that'll be around. Because remember this, corporate companies fire people all the time. They go out of business. So it's an illusion of security, right? That's safer than being married. That's an illusion. Also, if you're not with a husband and you're on entitlements from the government, what? You're dependent upon the government, not your man. So you're still a dependent, right? In a family, you're part of something larger than yourself, and you can give love and get love. Meaningful work could be what? Taking care of your children, taking care of your husband, which feminism denigrated. All right, so let's go back to the piece. Popular online accounts explored here tend to show women who don the clothes and lifestyle that they perceive women in a previous era embodied. Shirtwaist dresses, aprons, a rejection of formal work outside the home, and a heavy emphasis on homemaking. 3 cheers. And care for children. 3 cheers. Who do we want raising children? Great women or the Department of Education? Clearly not the Marxist Department of Education. So 3 cheers again for the natural order and human nature. We just said this in Rise Women of the West, that video, go watch it. Instead of finding, watch this, what the women found out when they went home. Instead of finding the home stuff, remember how the feminists sold, you're going to be slave, you're going to be bored, it doesn't mean anything at home. Instead of finding the home study, instead of finding the home stuffy, boring, or trivial, many women found greater purpose and satisfaction than they previously managed. So all that stuff feminism and Hollywood sold you turned out to be untrue for many, many, many women. That's what we're doing this for. Let's say it again. Women found greater purpose and satisfaction. Doesn't that make sense, ladies and gentlemen? To love and be loved. To be there for a child. And we went through this in Rise Women of the West. So I'm not going to do it all, but to see a child experience something for the first time, isn't that fulfilling? Making a great meal for your family, isn't that fulfilling? And your husband and your children saying, Mom, this was fantastic. You are an incredible cook. Your husband being romantically in love with you and taking you. All right. So this is a little bit done, some of the MICs, the Marxist Indoctrination Centers. So going back to the piece, initially the pandemic gave women the ultimate permission slip to explore the domestic realm, stay inside, to stay alive. Later, popular and aesthetic-pleasing trad wife accounts gave women the encouragement they needed, right? Because women need to be encouraged, right? To combat the outspoken expectations that all women, the feminists drove this in Hollywood. Even mothers ought to rejoin the 9-to-5 workforce. Who likes that? Well, Morgan Stanley would like it, and corporate America would like all women to be in the workforce, right? Work there all your life and spend your money in corporate America all life. Spend, 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 work, work, work. Work and spend, work and spend. Buy Starbucks, buy lattes, go out, party. Be materialistic. Buy as much stuff as you can have and replace stuff. Instead of having love, have stuff. Love beats stuff all the time, ladies and gentlemen. Love is more fulfilling than stuff. Love is more fulfilling than materialism. Position, title, relationships, friendships, more fulfilling than stuff. Not what corporate America wants you to think, right? Remember when Bush during that thing said, go out and go shopping? That's America. So it's good these women are being encouraged because they've been denigrated before and attacked just for wanting to be a housewife or a homemaker or a mother, and that's terrible, right? We're opposed to that. It's all right. She goes on to this piece. Let's go over this piece. It's worth considering why Gen Z women who have the most professional opportunities and fewest barriers to education, to work, and to politics would flock in large numbers to trad wife influencers. What does that tell you? It's the natural order, ladies and gentlemen. Most women want to build a home. Most women want to find love. Feminist and globalism always then tell them to do all this other stuff and replace it. But there's an order to life. For Gen Z women who have observed the unhappy zero-sum game that is the battle of the sexes, many feel that the modern world, for all its promises, has what, ladies and gentlemen? For all its promises, it has failed them. They sold it. They sold feminism, and it has failed them. They sold you'd be happy in this cubicle, and it failed them for many, many people. Let's say it again. Many feel the modern world, for all its promises, has failed them. The love of children can be more fulfilling than a cold cubicle, right? The love, a romantic love of a husband or boyfriend can be more fulfilling than a cold cubicle, right? And it's not that some people can't have both. It's just that time is limited and it's precious. But it's a good thing that many women are fulfilled in the home, and they discovered that, right? To undo that bad indoctrination of the Marxist and globalist. Now watch, what are they looking for? They're looking for an older and truer model, this is back to the piece, for how to live a good life. Isn't that what we want, ladies and gentlemen, a good life? And what is a good life? You have to determine that. Is a good life great friendship, children, and a great loving wife? Or for a woman, is it a great husband and children and a dog and a home that's full of love? No matter the size. Not about materialism. Where you live, and what makes a home. Not the structure of the building, right? Not how large it is, not the square footage. What's in it, right? Okay, here's another point. The harm is not born equally either. As Aaron Wrenn and Mary Harrington have pointed out, I wanted to get to this. The current workforce has meant that for elite or upper class women to work, and this is an interesting point, I think you'll find it enchanting, they require other women who would rather stay home and raise their own children to serve as nanny or daycare worker just to make ends meet. Many trad wife accounts encourage women insofar as they can to return to their own homes and release the poorer women, and I think this is interesting, from the expectation of handling their child care, cooking, and cleaning. Notably, a Refinery 29 article recognized this appeal for minority women. Refinery 29. Traditional marriage is the key to Black women's liberation from being overworked, economic insecurity, and the stress of trying to survive in a hostile world to our survival and existence. And we went through this. Being alone, what do you do when you deal with a problem? Isn't it better to have a man to go to listen, to talk, than be alone in the world? Same thing for the man, right? We can both make each other better. Men and women can enrich each other. We just said it in Rise of the Women of the West. We can make each other better. This side wants us apart. Why do they want us apart? For power. That's why. Implicit in the trad wife model is the financial and ideological support of a husband. It requires and here's it, we believe in this already, a husband and wife to work together in distinct roles toward a shared vision. One that ideally allows each the margin to flourish in their space. And he talks about this, she talks about this, Taleb. I've read his books, they're good, about anti-fragility. I don't think we need to go in that, but his books are good. I like them. Nassim Nicholas Taleb, I actually enjoyed his books. And she ends with this, I think, here's a good point at least. Many women are realizing that the happiness they desire requires reliance upon a husband and other family members to succeed. So there are natural roles and differences. We can make each other better. We can become more enriched with each other. So the globalists may say you don't want family and homes for the climate. Corporate America say work, 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 buy things. They might. But listen, what could your true legacy be? That you built a home where you felt love and you were loved as a woman, where you gave love, and when your children would always feel loved there, and your husband felt loved. They say home is where the heart is. Why is that, you think? Because in the right home, if you create it, and you create love in that home and traditions and memories, home is where your heart will be. And it won't be based on the size of the place, or it'll be how much love is in it and how much love you give in that home and how much love you provide. Remember Dorothy in The Wizard of Oz. What did she want to do? She just wanted to get home. Why? Well, because home was where she felt love, right? And home is where the people she loved lived. So what's one of the most magnificent things you could do? Find a romantic partner, build love with him, and create a home full of love. Thank you. If you like this video, hit the notification button, subscribe. We would appreciate it. Thank you.